1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Four-month-old Lindsay D was in need of a new heart. Lindsay was roommates with my sister, who also has heart problems, up in Mott Children's Hospital in Michigan in 2008. She had 3 major heart surgeries done, but her heart was too weak for any more surgical repairs. Surviving off of oxygen, close monitoring, and medication, a transplant was the only option left. She transitioned in and out of the hospital for 8 months before finally receiving a heart. That heart gave her 2 more years on her life, although shortly after her 3rd birthday, she suffered a massive seizure and passed away. If it wasn't for that heart, her family would have lost her several years ago. Lindsay's story is a perfect example of why everyone should be a registered organ donor. According to UNOS data, a patient is added to the transplant waiting list every 10 minutes. And from that same list, 22 patients die every day waiting on an organ. The need of organs is greater than what hospitals can supply. And a common concern people have on deciding whether or not to become an organ donor is the outcome of the transplants. Although transplants happen every day, the outcome is not always positive. Everyone who receives a transplant is at risk for rejection. Rejection occurs when the recipient's organ attacks the donor organ. And according to Penn State Medical Center, the body is least likely to reject the organ when the donor and recipient's antigens are similar. If rejection does occur, it typically happens within the first 6 months of transplant. But the doctor is given anti-rejection medication to reduce the risk of organ rejection. And organs do not last a lifetime, so if the rejection fails, it at least buys the patient more time. The organs typically last 5 to 12 years, depending on the condition of the organ and the organ itself. And if the organ continues to fail the patient, they are put back on the list and moved higher up. The U.S. government information on organ donation and transplant says that 80 to 90% of all transplants are successful. So in the grand scheme of things, rejection is a small concern. Although there is a waiting list to the organ donation, that list is not permanent. Changes are made to that list every day depending on the severity of the patient and their condition. Location also has an effect on who gets the organ and who has to continue to wait. The U.S. government information on organ donation and transplant also states that there are approximately 113,000 candidates on the organ donation waiting list as of April 2019. Again, the demand for organs is higher than what the hospitals can supply. Organs can only be donated if someone dies with rapid access to medical attention. And despite the general assumption, organ donations happen in a variety of different ways. So another frequent issue that people have on deciding whether or not to donate is having an open casket funeral. Many people believe that if they do become an organ donor, they cannot have that as an option. But according to the Mayo Clinic, several steps are taken to preserve the body after donation if an open casket funeral is requested. And if the bones are being taken out, rods will be put in their place. And if some of the skin is being harvested, a thin layer is taken from the back, and the body is laid in a supine position in the casket, leaving no visual evidence of organ donation. People often mistake that you have to be dead to donate, but that is false. According to the HRSA, Health Resources and Services Administration, there are about 6,000 living donations every year. Approximately 40% of all donations come from living donors. Kidneys, a part of your lung, liver, certain tissues, and bone marrow are all organs that can be donated while still living. Living donors usually do a direct donation to a close friend and or family member, but the same feeling of pride can come from helping a complete stranger. Religious beliefs also prevent some people from donating. Many people believe that it is against their religion, but all major religions are for organ donation, not against. They view it as an act of charity and kindness. I mean, what's better than giving the gift of life? Becoming an organ donor can be completed in just a few simple steps. Register free through your state online and fill out a donor card if available. Regardless of your age, ethnicity, and health, donating saves lives. Statistics from organ donation and transplant explains that 95% of U.S. adults support organ donation but only 58% of those are actually registered donors. A single organ donor can save 8 lives and assist up to 50 people. Transplants are a common surgery that happen on a day-to-day basis. And according to the HRSA on organ donation statistics, only 3 in 1,000 people die in a way that allows for organ donation. So if there are a lot of organ donors out there, it depends how they pass that ultimately in the way that'll decide if they can't donate their organs or not. Organs also have a short viability time frame, making them more scarce. 36,528 transplants took place in 2018. Becoming an organ donor does not affect your individual health either. Many people believe that if they do become an organ donor, doctors will be less thorough in saving the patients if they know they are an organ donor. But medical personnel does everything in their power to save their patients regardless of their donor status. Donating grants someone a second chance at life. The need for organs continues to grow each day. With thousands of candidates on the waiting list, the need for organs exceeds the organs available for transplant. Realistically, anyone can need a donation at any time. So the next time you're in line to get a new driver's license, think about all those candidates on the waiting list and check yes to organ donation. You are saying yes to saving not 1, but up to 8 lives.